KD Beats. KD Beats.
Beats Planet.
And we back. I would love to know, for everybody in the chat right now that's listening, just to play a little game in the chat box while we get the show going. On a scale of 1 to 10, how embarrassing is your Instagram Explore page? I'm curious. I'm not going to tell you exactly what we was talking about pre-show. I'm just curious, like what y'all Explore page look like? You know what I mean? Can you open that mug up in public? Can you open it in public, but you just can't open it at a school? You can't
Not
open it
safe for work.
Yeah, is it safe for work? I would love to know what y'all's Instagram Explore pages are like. Mine is terrible. Mine is horrific. I can't open it at the gym. I can't be at dojo. I can't be on the leg press. Just volume tag me and something on Instagram. All right, let's see what's on the Instagram. And somebody walk behind me and nonsense.
What I had to do, because I remember you used to be like that on Twitter. Like, wait, let me check first before I scroll on Twitter. Mm-hmm. I'm fine on Twitter, but the problem is this For You tab. It shows with some of your people that you following or following you like or retweet or something. And I legitimately had to unsubscribe or whatever, unfollow certain people because y'all just be retweeting or liking weird shit and it gets on my timeline and I don't want to make it look like I'm enjoying this weird shit.
But see, look, this is the bad part about it though. Twitter worse because Instagram will at least take the shit down. Twitter just let everything go.
Yeah.
And then look, this is the bad part. The OnlyFans people realize, oh, if I tag my OnlyFans stuff to shit that's popping in the trending section, it'll just pop up. So you can type in China, Taiwan, Russia, and you'll get some OnlyFans shit just because they tagged China's hot water. You are not safe on Twitter.
No.
You're much less safe on Twitter than you are on Instagram. But I would love to see how safe y'all are. Go ahead, Will.
Celebrities think they be forgetting. They forget on Twitter, right? And then the people will get your ass if you a celebrity. Did you
LaShawn
see?
McCoy.
Did you see?
LaShawn McCoy.
Who else was it? Samuel L. Jackson. They got his ass.
So I think Samuel Jackson has earned the right to look at nonsense on the internet. At least shady on TV. You know what I mean? You can't have that and shady on TV. Come on, man. Anyway, appreciate y'all for being here. I'm your host, Lombardi.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Shouts out to Nino Brown, man. VOCHLONBARDI. I'm being point guarded by the best in the business, Master William.
My name is Will. Little motherfucker talking shit.
Come on, man.
Everybody gonna die.
Come on.
I am Smack Talker Skywalker, and I got a mic saber for a hater.
What's good, bro?
Hey man, that's that line, because look, I'm not a new wrestling guy, but I'm old wrestling guy. So like Godfather always pop up in my mind when I hear that. You know what I'm saying? Because I just in my mind I think I slap him and get my money is coming next. You know? or when what's my man's name when he was in the hoochie phase. You know what I'm saying? He was like, where all my hoochies at? It's just in my mind, I'm thinking that's next. So just every time you play that, I think danger, but it ends up being okay. Chat, we got some things to talk about. Let me get serious. Let me get focused. Because I said a couple weeks ago, the one thing that I don't want y'all doing ever, and y'all gonna do it anyway. And you know, Will, the sad part about this job is that we wake up in the morning trying to save people. You know what I'm saying? Scarface has a fantastic line. Him featuring Tupac, the song is called Smile. And then that second verse, Face says, I often wish that I can save everyone, but I'm a dreamer. You know what I mean? He understands that he's not going to be able to reach everyone. You know what I mean? But he'll at least hope that good things will happen. He at least will wish that he can bring some type of positivity to people, that he can change people. But it's not always going to be the case. Sometimes people are who they are. And a couple weeks ago, we talked about this last week in particular, or it was actually the Bucks week in the playoffs. Being said, you know, don't let the internet make your mind up for you, you know? And I know we don't live in a time where people want to do their own research and get their own thoughts and opinions. They would rather listen to someone else's opinion, especially, you know, something that just may sound hot or just sound like something that makes sense to them. They'll say that, not do the research, and then go out and say that shit in public and just ride with that. When in real life, we teach you to, or we at least try to teach or try to motivate people to have their own thoughts, their own motivations and opinions, right? Even if it's something that I say, I tell people all the time, especially during draft season, because that's when the opinion is really all over the place. Man, look, bro, do your own research, man. Like, you know, I appreciate y'all being here because Voch need to see all these numbers and all these likes. I need to like, but they need to see all this. But I don't just want y'all to hear something I say and just go, oh, well, Voch said this, so I'm going to just go by what Voch says. I would love it if you listen to Voch and then listen to Sky and go watch the video Koye made and go hear Foots' take and then hear Law Nation, everybody else. And then after your own research, you put all that shit together. That's how I learned how to cook. You put all that shit together and you go, all right, this is what I think, right? So why I bring this up, why this is very important, is because Brian Schottenheimer was hired as the OC for the Dallas Cowboys. And I feel like a lot of us knew this already. A lot of us felt like this was going to be the move that was coming. I was like, all right, Voch, we about to interview what's her name? And I was like, good luck to him. Yeah. You know? Oh, we about to try to get some, hey, we may get some picks if we hire old boy from the what's her name? And I was like, yeah, we're not getting them picks. We not getting the rule picks. Now, it was already a foregone conclusion. All he had to do was show up to work, do his little interview. Everybody else got their interview. Oh, we'll call you back. We'll have my people call you. Schottenheimer's the guy. So if Schottenheimer's going to be the guy, the very next thing we need to do is, all right, we need to try to figure out what's going on with the Schottenheimer guy, right? We just can't live in this world to where we just going to listen to the outside noise. I need to figure this out because when we hear about these new offense coordinator dudes, as soon as they get here, I never know what the hell they done. I always got to hear a name first, and based on hearing that name, that's when I do the research. You know what I'm saying? I just don't pour Will Steele. There's this assistant running back coach over in Tennessee, and he gonna be a gangster one day. I'm not privy to that information, but once I get a name, I do the research, and then that's when we, do our thing. That leads us to this, right? There was this meme that was kind of floating around, Will Steele. There was this little graphic that was floating around, and it's funny because Brumley sent this to the volume chat this morning. And look, shouts out to Brumley. I love you to pieces, Brumley, but we just got to talk. And this ain't even necessarily anti-Brumley. Brumley might be a Saints fan. He's a Louisiana guy, but Brumley sent me this graphic, and y'all may have seen it on social media. I saw it floating around Twitter. I saw it in your general Facebook groups. I saw it in Reddit. Will Steele ask me how I saw all these things on all these different platforms.
How'd you see these things on these different platforms?
Because the first thing y'all fuckers do is tag me to it. Don't tag me to this. Don't tag me to your nonsense. Don't do that. Anyway, they tagged me to it, Will Steele, and I started watching it, right? And I looked at it, put my glasses on. I did it then, but I'm not going to do it now. And I was like, oh, he was with the Washington football team as a quarterbacks coach, and they was 28 ranked in offense. Like, they'll have the rundown from their Wikipedia, and then in red, they'll have like what they thought about it. Will Steele probably put up on the screen a little bit, right? And then with the Chargers, oh snap, he had Drew Brees and he was trash, and they wasted some of the worst defenses with Mark Sanchez. This little meme that was going on.
That was weird how they worded it. Very weird.
So I'm looking at it, Will Steele, and look, I need to call my mama and thank him. I might do it live on the show one day. But I look at this shit and I was like, somebody lying. Something's going on here. Something's fishy, right? Like, he's hired to do this and XYZ, and I'm reading this rundown and everything is trash on it. Like, how you get hired and everything trash on it? Like, we didn't get hired at the volume because we trash Will Steele. Like, we had a spiffy fucking resume, you know what I'm saying? But wordplay is the thing. Yeah. Chat box, ladies and gentlemen. So what I want to talk about now is just a handful of these destinations, probably why they was ranked so terribly, and then we're going to talk about what's important when it comes to Schottenheimer and Solari and how they fit with Mike McCarthy. Fit is going to be the word for today. Y'all write that down. It will be on the test. FIT, fit. So I did my research, Will Steele, because something about this shit ain't look right? So he was the quarterbacks coach in Washington in 2001. That don't really mean much to me or whatever, but I was like, all right, let me just look up who the quarterback was at Washington in 2001. I was like, oh, it's Tony Banks. Okay, it's a fantastic fucking start. That man got fired because he couldn't fix Tony Banks.
And then it has 28th ranked offense. Well, he's the quarterbacks coach. What are we doing?
He's a quarterbacks coach. Then 2022 to 2025, he was the quarterbacks coach, and it says the only years of Drew Brees' career where he didn't look like a Hall of Famer. Drew Brees' first 3 fucking years in the league, huh? He ain't look like a Hall of Famer the first 3 years in the league, huh?
Yeah, that again. This got wordplay.
Day 2 pick Drew Brees was just didn't look like a Hall of Famer second. But Will Steele, if you keep watching and you do your due diligence, not only did Drew Brees get better, but he was a bad motherfucker in year 4. But it's cool. We'll keep going. We'll talk about it. We'll move on. 2006 through 2011 wasted some of the NFL's best defenses with Mark Sanchez. That ain't got shit to do with him. that ain't got shit to do with him. But
was it oxymoron, right?
Oxymoron,
right? You can't waste defenses with Mark Sanchez. You got Mark Sanchez. I mean, what do you want to do?
But Will, I kept looking though, right? And at the end of this, I'll tell y'all something interesting that I did notice. First of all, when he got there, old ass Chad Pennington was there, right? Then it was old ass Brett Favre, and then fucking Mark Sanchez. I don't know what y'all expect anybody to do with those 3 dudes, but there's a common theme amongst all these pieces, and we're gonna talk about it. It is interesting how they can help the Cowboy. We'll talk there when we get there. I hope I don't have to explain why the Rams thing shouldn't be talked about. Sam Bradford wasn't no dude. Them teams wasn't good. Will Steele. I'm not gonna talk about college. That ain't the NFL. This the one that was most funny. I'm looking at the meme right now, Will Steele. Look, Indianapolis coach 2016 through 2017. In red, they say 30th offense in 2017. Well, that's interesting, Will Steele. What happened in 2016? Andrew Luck was fucking incredible. Well, what happened in 2017? Scott Tolzien and Jacoby Brissett, Will Steele.
Oh, this dude, whoever created this is terrible.
Will Steele, Scott Tolzien, and Jacoby Brissett because Andrew Luck got hurt. So of course they're gonna be 30th in offense. All this gonna make chat. This gonna make sense. Please hang tight. Seattle is where the shit gets super interesting. Will Steele. Yes, you get 4-year Drew Brees. Yes, you get 1 year of Andrew Luck. But this little time with Seattle, Will Steele, tell me from bullshit, but this may have been the best Russell Wilson has looked as a fucking quarterback.
But you're not bullshitting. I mean, statistically, it was his best time in Seattle. And hilarious, he says, didn't let Russ cook. No, he's the reason why the whole Russ cook thing started. It was Carroll who wanted Russ not to cook and just run the ball.
And I'm up here like, okay, Russ definitely evolved from being bus driver guy with one of the best defenses of all time into this Russell Wilson that everybody, and look, this was the time where I was fighting all my Dak fights, you know what I'm saying? So I know how good Russell Wilson was right here, right? And I'm just sitting up here like, we're not going to give Schottenheimer credit for how good Russell Wilson was. And notice everything else kind of had ranked by it, ranked this number, top this number. But when we get here, it just turns into a meme again. Didn't let Russ cook. What does that mean? Will Steele, the more we do our research and we put our thinking caps on, not letting Russ cook wasn't a Schottenheimer thing. It was a Pete Carroll thing.
It was.
Schottenheimer broke up with Pete Carroll because of philosophical differences. Chat, in the last 5 minutes, have we heard something similar to that? To the philosophical difference? Hang tight. We'll talk about it. And I don't want to say nothing about the Jaguars situation because Urban Meyer had that thing as a dumpster fire since we got there. So we ain't got to cross that road whenever we get there.
And
what
you can't see is that he was a passing game coordinator, not offensive coordinator.
That's even better. Something I did find interesting, though, Will Steele. When Schottenheimer was calling plays, he got fantastic running performances out of all these guys. Out of all these teams right here, whether it be, I didn't expect Frank Gore to be this good, or I didn't expect Thomas Jones to be this good, or I didn't expect Chris Carson to be the lead guy in Seattle or whatever. Okay, I didn't expect this out of these gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? But then on top of that, I think that makes people think, he may be somebody that's going to come in and, do something to our run game or whatever. I do think he's going to be very important to the run game situation. Him plus Solari plus Mike McCarthy, we talked about fit, right? I do think he's going to do something with run game. I think he's going to be more of a Dak help type of guy. Why do I say that? Because Russell Wilson, around the same quarterback calendar that Dak Prescott is on right now, has some of the best years of his career with Schottenheimer calling plays. Right? So now we at this point, Will Steele. Schottenheimer's in Dallas. What's going to be his job in Dallas? I know it's say offense coordinator. Right? It's say offense coordinator. On the paperwork, on his check, it might say that. In his contract, it might say that. But he's Mike McCarthy offensive help guy is what I call it. Will Steele, is that fair?
That's fair. He's his assistant.
Mike McCarthy's help guy. And the one thing that really made me, come together and think about all this for real, is I thought how damaging creative differences could be for your offense as a whole, right? And, sometimes you just got to sit back and just think about it. So I wonder, at what point did Kellen run a double, triple reverse and Mike McCarthy said, right? Or at what point does Mike McCarthy openly make a big deal publicly to the media, publicly say, yo, man, I'm not an option route guy. I can't stand an option route. That ain't me. I'm not that dude, right? Publicly, loudly. And Kellen Moore, with a pocket full of option routes, go out and run all them joints on Sunday. I wonder if you're Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore isn't a Mike McCarthy guy. And this goes back to the Jones conversation that we had, Will Steele. If Kellen Moore, if Mike McCarthy has these philosophies and Kellen Moore has the opposite philosophy and Kellen Moore is a Jones guy, if you Mike McCarthy, what does that do for you? What does that do for you? Like, man, we still running curls, man. We still expecting, man, after CeeDee Lamb and Dalton Schultz having a depth issue, having a behind the safety, front the safety issue, we still doing this? Oh, well, Michael Gallup ain't showing a whole bunch of explosion right now. He's just expected to beat one-on-one dudes, at the top of the breaks like this. Like, I need to, I need to see change. I need to see something that fits what we do more. I need to see something more simpatico with what I'm doing. Right? And if Kellen Moore is not doing that, and you Mike McCarthy, you may tap Kellen Moore on the shoulder. Well, still, it was funny when we said it. Yo, man, Kellen Moore called the plays like he had attitude this game. You know what I mean? We'll just go back and talk about that. But when all this started to happen, it makes sense a little bit. We go, man, boy, Kellen Moore calling plays like he's sick of Mike McCarthy or something. That might be a thing. So this new offense and what Schottenheimer and Solari are going to do for Mike McCarthy as a play caller, because Mike McCarthy's calling the plays, right? What this is going to do is, and if we know anything about Mike McCarthy, when there's treachery afoot, he will make a change. Instead of Mike McCarthy saying publicly, yo, I don't like option routes. And now Mike McCarthy got to wait till next Sunday to see if it's going to be some more option routes. And he see him again. Instead of that process, if Mike McCarthy sees something and it don't work and there's treachery afoot, I know Mike McCarthy make a change. I've seen Mike McCarthy fire his friends because treachery was afoot. Yeah. And this ain't me trying to hype up Brian Schottenheimer, right? I don't think he's like some evolutionary next best thing, but sometimes it's about the fit. Sometimes it's about what works. And sometimes, okay, helping Mike, what can I do to make Mike McCarthy a good play caller? That's what this is all about. This ain't about how much new flashy, new age Shanahan things can I do. That should be cool. But right now it's about helping Mike McCarthy because Mike McCarthy wants to die on his shield. So like I said the other day, and I'm gonna let Will talk. Like I said the other day, Kellen Moore was fantastic 80% of the time. But that 20%, he was goddamn fantastic. Right? I mean, pardon me, that 20% he was terrible. Terrible for that 20%. So in my mind, if you Mike McCarthy, play caller Mike McCarthy with these two dudes that are coordinated for you to be a play caller, I don't even need you to match that 80% of good from Kellen. Like if you get to 70, 75, that'll work. But I just need the what we're bad at. If we can fix what we're bad at, I think that's more impactful in my personal opinion. Hey, let's consistently get CeeDee Lamb involved. Let's consistently get motion. Let's consistently run the ball with the right guy. Let's consistently use play action. Let's consistently put ourselves in the best situation. Hey, 2nd and 2. Let's not do a triple reverse Turpin pass right here. You know what I mean? Fix the things that you're bad at, as opposed to trying to be the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. And if Mike McCarthy down his shield and he's terrible, then fine, he died on his shield, and Dan will go fire. He'll go find some new motherfucker to call plays on offense. Go ahead, Wilson. What you got for this, man? What's your thoughts on this, sir?
Just from outside of schematics, because I think schematically we're going to start seeing more West Coast stuff, and that's a whole nother conversation if you want to have that. But I think it's going to create cohesion from the head coach down to what we hope is run game coordinator with Mike Solari. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Mike Solari is going to be your run game guy, whereas that wasn't the case over the last 3 years. Let's just be real. It was Kellen Moore's baby, per se, and McCarthy kind of had to just come along for the ride. So just imagine a guy who's been an offensive guy for decades, right, for 20, 30-some years, and then you get a chance to go into a different team, and you're told you got to run this offense that has no connection to yours. Right. So you could imagine there's going to be philosophical differences, and I think it all came to a head this year. And I know you can look at the gaudy numbers, but we often talked about situational football. I think you saw that. And it's so funny you brought up the whole attitude, the whole, when we were just kind of joking that one. I do think in that Texans game, I think it was a Texans game, when they ran like 12 straight, 15 straight, whatever it was, times, I do think it was a little bit of some attitude to that. Yeah.
Like, fine, if it was what you want, I'll do it. Cool. Slight detour, Will. Still, we're not going nowhere. Just a slight 30-second detour. I just got something to say. I see Blade Brown in the chat box right now. Shouts out to Blade Brown. 2 black quarterbacks in Super Bowl, huh, Blade Brown? You hate it, don't you, Blade? You can't stand it, huh, Blade Brown? Blade Ruckus. Anyway, shouts out to him. But Will, still to your point though, right? The whole situational thing and the whole creative differences, man. Like, bro, man, you don't want to be in a room where the vibes are bad. You know what I'm saying? One thing that we're always hearing about with Kansas City or whatever is Andy, the enemy, players, all the coordinators, they all be getting along, they all work together, they on the marker board drawing up new shit together. You know what I'm saying? If we got creative differences and or Mike McCarthy really don't know what's going on offensively, like he don't know the terminology, he don't know none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like that'll be a good energy from the people, because we know Dak's not a guy that's finna, we like Cooper's whole deal was, yo man, can we not run a stop route? Shouts out to Law Nation for bringing that whole thing back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think there should be a space to where Dak can look at the sideline and go, hey man, this can we different? You know what I'm saying? And they go, all right, cool, Dak, we respect that, boom, 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 bam. And to your other point too about the whole West Coast offense thing, and we talked about this. Well, we didn't talk about it, but I just commented on your show earlier. Shouts out to you, A to Z Dallas in the morning, 8:30 to 10 o'clock, 10:30 sometimes if y'all lucky. This year that we played or whatever, last year, whatever, cool. That was Dak's worst turnover year, and the whole new narrative is that Dak is turnover guy, Dak is interception guy, but Dak hasn't always been turnover guy. So, if you the play caller here, and mind you, this ain't the best talent that we have on the outside, and maybe you stubborn, you stuck in your ways or something like that. I don't know, man. Maybe you get less picks if you cut down on some of the confusion that's going on with, with your wide receivers, or if you have more of a likely idea of what your wide receiver's good at. I'm going back to Kansas City right here. Some that I just thought was so funny and so easy, so simple about Kansas City, and I followed them close because I had a lot of them dudes on, my fantasy teams, whatever. But like, they don't ask Juju Smith to do shit that Tyreek Hill used to do. You know what I mean? Marquez don't do things that Juju does. Mecole Hardman scores touchdowns, and they all within 5 yards of each other. Like, oh, you getting a dump off here, you getting a this, you getting a that. You don't run an option route with Mecole Hardman. You don't run option routes with Travis Kelce.
That's the only one. Yeah.
Travis Kelce might be an option route guy, but the rest of these guys, man, they getting, all right, ball out quick, catch the ball, go do yak things or whatever, right? And we said this before, but y'all, some of y'all be missing shows and shit, but I don't think we have the players necessarily to go out and be option route dudes, because they may not be shoulder up guys. They might be, give me the ball and let me go make a play guy.
Hell, McCarthy said that. McCarthy said, I'm not a fan of this. And it's the most aggressive option route offense I've ever been in. Essentially saying, everybody is pretty much running these things. Where he kind of gave an example. He's like, yeah, one guy maybe, that has the best relationship with the quarterback. But that guy that had the best relationship with the quarterback wasn't on the team anymore. That's not saying that Lamb and Dak didn't have a good relationship. It's saying that Lamb and Dak, up until this year, really didn't play years with each other. At 5 games in 2020. They had that, I think it was 12 games or 13 games, whatever it was, because they both got injured at one point last year. And that was it. Yeah. So they were still learning, and Lamb was still learning. And then Michael Gallup in and out of the lineup over the last 3 seasons. And the guy that was consistently there and that could do the head-up things was Amari Cooper. And he's not there. So, yeah, he should have pivoted from that style of offense to a more, what we might see, West Coast style.
Yeah. Sometimes the simple things are the best things, Will, still. You know what I mean? So for one thing that this team definitely got to do is we got to get better dudes. Continuity is cute, but we got to get better dudes. And when we have better dudes, man, hey man, everybody can have their own little package plan. Hey, let's use Turpin. And you know what, Will, still, like, that could, and this could be another knock to Kelvin, whatever. But I wonder if we didn't use Turpin because there was just some things that Turpin wasn't good at. But if you see that, like, why won't we just use Turpin but only do things that he's good at?
I was about to say, I mean, just didn't put him in position. That's how many times do we say that? Like, put your players in position to succeed. Turpin has a specific skill set. I have a very specific set of skills, right? Like that, he has a specific skill set. Use those.
Yep. CD Lamb can be your yak guy, your general wide receiver things guy. He ain't got to run option routes if you don't got. I mean, I definitely don't think Gallup is an option route guy. Gallup could be a guy to get the ball short and turn into a big muscle.
Running them Jones with Noah.
We was running option routes with Noah Brown, dog. Like, I just feel like maybe a dude that's more of a veteran, and I'm just giving you some more credit, Will Sigler. There's some shit you've always talked about. Like, Schottenheimer's called plays for a while now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's acclimated. He's done this before. So now when he gets here, like there shouldn't be growing pains with Schottenheimer. You know what I'm saying? Like there were with allegedly Kellen. You know what I'm saying? So,
because McCarthy's calling the plays.
or fucking Mike McCarthy will still. Fantastic point. So, like I said, man, this ain't me hyping up, because there's gonna be some people in the chat. Oh, Voch Homer, he just want to say good things about Schottenheimer and Solari. This ain't me hyping nobody up. This ain't like a pro endorsement of anybody. I just want you to make your mind up on your own research before you just go out and say, oh, trash hire. You know what I'm saying? Like let the motherfucker Schottenheimer cook. And if Schottenheimer can do some of the things that he did in Seattle, Dan Quinn come out and do Dan Quinn shit.
Oh, we got it backwards, brother. Like,
I'm sorry.
Mike McCarthy.
I apologize.
I think
I apologize.
I think we get Mike McCarthy a little bit up a little bit.
I apologize.
Just a little bit. I made this comparison earlier. When Dan Quinn was hired by the Cowboys, you remember this?
Hated that shit. Yeah.
Oh, you did? I didn't know that. Well,
I did. No, I did. Like, I'm saying like them. Like
lots
them.
of fans were just, Dan is washed up. He was carried by Legion of Boom. He this and that. I'm like, damn. Was Dan Quinn just trash his whole career or something? Am I missing something? Right?
Falcons fans was like feeding into that shit, making people feel.
I'm like, Dan Quinn is a respected defensive mind around this league. He's won a Super Bowl with the Legion of Boom and went to another one, right? With the Legion of Boom. Right? I understand it's Legion of Boom. Okay. And then he gets here and everybody's just railing on Dan Quinn. I'm like, well, Dan Quinn has a background of being a successful coordinator and developing guys. He did that in Atlanta. Oh, by the way, he went to the Super Bowl. And and then now Dan is doing his thing. I kind of liken it now to McCarthy kind of arriving as his own, like Dan Quinn did, where a lot of people are, and maybe we were before too, doubting McCarthy as an offensive guy, play caller, or his offense. Where are we forgetting 11 of the 13 years I think he called plays in Green Bay, he was top 10 in DVOA. Are we forgetting? I mean, he won a Super Bowl calling plays. Are we forgetting he is the fourth or the third leading points per game head coach in the NFL behind Sean Payton, and I think it was the mad scientist, the greatest show on turf. I forget his name. I'm having a brain fart here. But we act like no. He followed. He followed. And somebody in the chat will get it. He followed Dick Vermeil. It's definitely. Mike Martz.
Yeah, Mike Martz.
Oh, you said Martz. My bad.
Yeah, Mike Martz.
So you know, Mike McCarthy has that background of success. He's been in big spots. He's won a ton of playoff games in his career. Like, do we got him up?
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah.
I like that, Will Steele. I like that, man. And that's real shit. That's real shit. Mike has the results, man. Mike has the skins on the wall, as Jerry and them called it. You know what I mean? When we first hired him, and he lied to us when he said he did. You know what I mean? Like, he got the skins on the wall. And fun thing about it, I was talking to Brumley earlier, and I was trying to explain to him, because maybe like outside of like the Cowboy network of things, like a lot of this news really don't get out or whatever. I'm like, hey man, Schottenheimer, he ain't the play caller. He's offensive coordinator in theory. Like, right. Mike's the guy for real. You know what I'm saying? Andy Reid type shit. You know what I'm saying? Andy Reid's the head coach, Bieniemy's the OC, but Andy's Vandy calling play, whatever, cool. So I would love to see what they bring. I would love to see how this glove fits. Fit is very important here. Please write this down, because we're going to talk about it later, Chad. It will be on the test. Fit is very important here. And if these pieces, Solari was with Schottenheimer, by the way, if all these pieces fit together and just make sense, look, bro, like I said this during the season, and shouts out, I keep giving Will Steele credit. Shit, man, I ain't got to be the best offense in the league no more. I don't have to have the numbers no more. I don't want to have the rankings no more. I just want to do what works. You know what I mean? And if that's this offense just being a good offense, an efficient offense, a non-turn the ball over offense, and a tough ass defense to be, you know what I mean? Like, if that's what our formula is, then I'm open to this new formula. I'm open to how this thing goes. And don't get it twisted. Like this don't mean that Dak turns into Garoppolo, because Russell wasn't no fucking Garoppolo. Russell went out there and threw the ball a bunch. So we'll still win by throwing the football, but I also think run game is gonna be brand new looking also. So that's my take. Go ahead.
If they do bring in a new philosophy or tailor it towards McCarthy or new scheme or whatever, you have a head start because you got one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Like you're not bringing in some young guy that has to learn something new. You got a guy that's been around, and the West Coast philosophy is tailored towards to make life easier for the quarterback and receivers.
Let me ask you this, Will, still before I move on to the phones.
The conference has been locked.
How much of the existing offense do you think is going to roll over to Mike McCarthy? Do you think that he keeps most of the same stuff, but he cuts out some of the option stuff? He implements some easy little stuff here. We'll change the run schematics here, but keep some of the same names or whatever. How much carryover do you think we'll have from the last offense to the new one?
I think we gotta wait to hear from him, but my gut's telling me, man, we really might be on our way to a do we say modern West Coast offense? But we could be seeing a pretty seismic shift in what we're used to seeing in Dallas over the last since 2007, since Jason Garrett got here. We've been running kind of that similar philosophy, Air Coryell, Ernie Zampese. I think the responsible thing to do, Voch, is to take what some of the things that did work last year for you and keep those in your bag, right? Like, keep those if you can, but you need to develop an identity. And I think that's really going to be the biggest positive. I think Dallas is going to have an identity.
How fire would it be to play the Chargers, roll up on Kellen, beat him with some of his plays, but, you know what I'm saying, don't do the plays that didn't work and, really, put hands on him like that. That'll just be so fun. Yeah. That'll just be first play, curl routes, all curls. and then we go into our new shit. How fun would that be? All right, y'all. But yeah, that's our take, man. That's me and Will. We kill some time at 3:54, boy. Yeah, man. This man, this ain't hard, man. This ain't gotta be complicated. And the one thing that, if y'all need some parting words to lean on to feel better about, hey man, if this shit don't work out, we got Dan Quinn, bro. Yeah, man. If this shit don't work, you got Dan Quinn. You feel me? But anyway, let's pull.
I can't wait to see Dan Quinn versus Kellen, because the defense we seen it was giving them hell.
Yeah, about to be. Yo, look, Will, I saw this report coming out of Chargers land. It was like Keenan Allen might be a cap casualty. I was like, oh boy.
And Mike Williams is a hurt guy. He's a fantastic talent, but he's a hurt guy. But boy, Dan Quinn was giving Kellen Moore hell. I mean, Dak used to always say, Dak would come out and be like, hey man, look, we going up against Dan and them boys, so I'm good. We go up with anybody. But yeah, man, it's gonna be fun game.
Yeah, man, Mike could be the type to take that game personally, get about 4 sacks or something just to shit on Kelly. Man, I don't know. That'd be a fun season. Let's get to the phones, man. We got 5 callers. Housekeeping. We've been watching film on patreon.com. We've been watching a lot of film on patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. We watch some of the top edges, some of the top D linemen, some of the top offensive tackles, things of that nature. If y'all want to watch the live film sessions when I watch them, tap into the patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. My non-football platform, which is twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi. And tonight we're having Scoutcast. That's me and Jeff's show. So that's like 7 p.m. Central on Mondays. Also, too, in case y'all didn't know, because some of y'all be missing shows you're not allowed to, the new format for the offseason, or at least until May or whatever, Monday and Wednesdays are going to be Cowboy shows. It could be Cowboy offseason. It could be Cowboys draft, just Cowboy shows. Tuesdays and Thursdays are the draft shows, the all 32 shows. So if you're a Cardinals fan or whatever, we just talking about draft, and it's not going to be team in particular, whatever. So tap into that. And if you're a Cowboy fan, just tap in on Monday and Wednesday, and on Tuesday and Thursday, just ask a Cowboy draft question. You can ask Cowboys draft question all week because it falls in the boat. So that's the housekeeping for the week. Let's get into the phones, though. Let's get DJ on the phone. What's up, DJ?
Hey, what's going on, Voch? What's up, Scott? Talk to you this morning. How y'all doing?
What's cool, play?
All right.
I think the biggest thing about this is that, there's 2 or 3 different types of coaches out there. And, there's the hands-on, Dan Quinn out there with a helmet, that kind of thing. There's the teacher, and then there's the playbook. The problem is that I think Kellen was a playbook guy. Like, he was a walking, talking playbook. Even more so because there was no identity to what he did. So he was just a collection of plays that were good plays, but he was just a collection of plays. And I don't know enough about Schottenheimer to speak on it, right? I don't know exactly what he looks like game in, game out, all that kind of stuff. But I can tell you that he is more simplistic. It's not going to be a whole bunch of option routes like you've been saying. It's not going to be all that kind of stuff to be the technicality stuff. So if you're not the hands-on teacher Dan Quinn type, well, you got to have stuff that's easy to digest. And none of Kellen's stuff was easy to digest because you had to learn 3-4 different positions. You had to know everything about everybody all the time instead of just learning your spot. So I think if nothing else at all, Brian Schottenheimer's scheme and the ability for the players to digest it and move forward, and the more you know your spot, the better you are at it because you don't have to think. So we'll see a lot of guys moving a lot faster because if you notice with the offense as well, at first, at the beginning of the season, the guys looked rather sluggish because they're thinking and all that kind of stuff. And as the season progressed, they get better, right? Mid-season form, all that kind of stuff. It's still real with everybody, but it can happen a lot quicker and easier with an easier digestible playbook versus what Kellen and his plays and what his demands were mattered in the end.
Sure. Fair enough. Some you said very early in your call, I kind of dig it, is, I don't think Kellen knows what his identity is. You know what I'm saying? And me and Will still talked about this when San Francisco or when the Eagles were having a bad day at quarterback that went to plan B, plan C, plan D. When the Cowboys having a bad day, we just keep beating our head up against plan A. Mike McCarthy is definitely going to have an identity. Like, we know exactly what the Mike McCarthy offense is going to look like. You know what I mean? Normally in the offseason, you get a new coach. Hey, man, we don't know what's going on, man. We don't know what it's going to look like. I feel like we know exactly what this thing is going to look like. And if there's any questions or ambiguity, it's about how these players in particular are going to fit in it, which is going to make the draft process interesting. I actually got a question for Will still after this. But Mike having an identity or knowing exactly what he wants to do, and not just, asking Madden, you know what I mean? Hitting X, hitting square, just asking Madden, and just some play pops up. He's like, cool, we're gonna call that. I think that just doing the simple things like having something to lean on if something goes bad will be beneficial to you.
Exactly. And final note, and I'll let you go. The idea of Keenan Allen becoming available for the offseason and how that plays out, if they can get him with the combination of possibly getting Jalen Hyatt, because I just watched him, that is just a crazy mixture if I look at both of those guys for this team. But that's more draft stuff, but that's just a little note that I wanted to end the call with.
Sure. Appreciate you, DJ. Jalen Hyatt's a fun player, man. Jalen Hyatt, deep ball player, and you can really see his speed, which is going to be an interesting conversation that I may bring to the Tuesday and Thursday show, but they can actually be Monday and Wednesday because Cowboys are in the wide receiver market, I guess. You can see Jalen Hyatt shift gears, and you see that he's fast. Sometimes we could be like deep ball threat. Technically, Jalen Tolbert was a deep ball threat. But, sometimes you may want a speedier guy to be your deep ball threat as opposed to, hey, I'm just being deep ball guy. Michael Gallup's another one of them guys, where he just, I'm just a deep ball guy. I'm just deep ball guy. So Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I've been on him for a while, just talking shit about him for a while. He's a deep ball threat, but you don't necessarily see his speed all the time. What I really love about Jalen Hyatt is you see his speed. You see him changing gears. And it just would depend on if we're going to throw it to him. Now, with that, hold on to that. Let me go to Will Steele real fast. I ain't even think about it till DJ just said it. Do you think this change of offensive, philosophy, play calling, whatever, do you think that changes how we draft? Do you think we're probably going to be leaning more towards route running players or more towards, yak players as opposed to like some jump ball guys or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think that anything along that line changes things, or is Will McClay going to step in and be like, yeah, but he still need to be 6 foot, or are we going to get like a shorter slot guy that can open things up? What you think, Will? Still?
Funny thing is the way that the Cowboys been drafting receivers kind of fits this West Coast, where they like the 6'2", kind of bigger type of guys. When I say bigger, they don't necessarily got to be possession, but they definitely like them at least 6 foot to 6'2", or bigger. And I think this scheme, the West Coast scheme, is going to help younger guys like Simi Fehoko and Jalen Tolbert maybe showcase their skill sets because they're not asking them to do a whole lot. And maybe that's why we didn't see a whole lot of development from these young guys like a Tolbert or Fehoko or Vasher or whomever, right? And it took a Noah Brown year 6 or 7 to really get going as a wide receiver in this league. So I don't necessarily think there will be a shift in the receivers because they like that style. Anybody would love a 6'2", 4'3", 5" guy if he's that good. So ain't nobody gonna turn that down. Do we see a smaller slot receiver though? That's not really a thing. I mean, Randall Cobb was drafted in Green Bay by him, but that's really about it. And Randall Cobb was kind of a jack of all trades. And one thing I would want to say, McCarthy still likes guys that kind of know multiple spots. Excuse me. But I don't think that means he's going to always put them there if he doesn't have to. So do I see him getting a slot? I don't really see that. And that's crazy because we talked about Tank Dell the other day, and he may not be on their wish list. But, hey, McCarthy, much like Dan Quinn, could have evolved. So we don't know yet, right? We got to get to the press conference, maybe see what happens in free agency. Maybe he's involved in, he's not necessarily focused on one specific style of player.
I was on the social medias, man. I was like, yo, don't send me mock drafts, Cowboy mock drafts. We ain't like short guys on because we don't rock with short players. And people thought that meant that I don't like short players. 3 of my favorite wide receivers short. You know what I mean? Tank Dell, Zay Flowers, and Josh Downs. Like I love them dudes, but they're all a little bitty. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really know how tall Randall Cobb was, but
5'10". I say short, but he wasn't that short. He was I think like 5'10".
9 times out of 10, what's going to end up happening is I think you'll probably try to draft like a bigger dude to go be a flanker type guy for you, and CeeDee Lamb just be a full-time slot guy. If I had to guess, I know Will still, or if I know Will.
I want to see. I'm dying to see Lamb as like a Z receiver in the West Coast.
Yeah,
like I'm dying to see this.
Yeah, but Mike McCarthy may be dope enough to move him all over the place because that's kind of one of his things that he wants.
Still get him involved in the slot, but man, I just we haven't really got a chance to see CD just kind of work on a boundary. I think he's really good out there.
You know, as good as CD was, I don't think Kellen fully took advantage of CD this year, and that should let you know everything you need to know about CeeDee Lamb. Like I think it was a lot of meat left on the bone with CeeDee Lamb, regardless of who his quarterback was. And even think about that though, right? Think about a whole year with Dak, better involvement from play caller, and then think about how good CeeDee Lamb could actually be. Man, CeeDee Lamb probably lead the league.
To be fair to Kellen, he was his only guy, and so he did put him in the slot to get him kind of loose a little bit. But because I think the design of our scheme, you're not getting a lot of yak opportunity. You don't get that. But in McCarthy's, if you go look at his history, these guys was yakking it up.
About to change that up. Let's get Joe Sandberg. I love Joe. Let's get Joe Sandberg on the phone. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Voch, how are we doing?
Man, cool and Playboy. What you got for me today?
Well, one thing I did think about with getting Schottenheimer to actually be the OC, that helped write the script for like letting McCarthy call the plays, is that you won't be running the ball just for the sake of running the football.
Yeah.
And I do like the idea of that. It just opens up everything a little bit better for our offense.
Sure.
But I do have one question for you.
Yep.
Due to like how many running backs that McCarthy has used in his other, like when he was in Green Bay,
sure,
and where Schottenheimer was at, could you possibly see like us drafting like a different specific running back or type?
So the running backs that Schottenheimer used in his latest little run, Chris Carson was a guy. DJ Dallas will go in there and get his little reps. They drafted Penny, and Penny was a rotational guy also. And one thing that I would talk about with Mike McCarthy is I would go back. It's just always in my mind when I just think about him and his running back rotation. It'll be Lacey, Montgomery, and James Starks. So both of those dudes both kind of have experience with mixing up your running backs and not really leaning on one guy for real. So I don't know what the future of Zeke and Tony going to be. let alone drafting a dude. I mean, I don't know what that's gonna look like. Rico Dowdle, Malik Dave, but at least we know that we have dudes that have experience in committee type approaches. But I think whoever's going to be the running back, they'll probably get the most out of.
Right, and that's what I was thinking about going forward, like multiple years, of that you won't necessarily be holding on to like one specific running back, like for the full-time future, as far as like paying one.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Appreciate you. Good call, man.
Thank you.
I love Joe. Yo, Voch, I just had a question. Go ahead, Joe. Yeah, man. I was just thinking about the about the relationship between, the players and Kellen Moore. They hate that guy. Yeah, Joe, they do, man. They do, huh? Yeah, man. I appreciate. Bro. I don't know if he do it on purpose. I don't know if it's just him and how he talk, bro. But dog, Joe is he's a main character in a fucking sketch comedy or something. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like
get to the
I wish
point.
I could do something, you know what I'm saying, something creatively with that. You know what I mean? We'll see. We'll figure that out. They hate that guy. Let's get this about to be back to back. We'll see. We got Charlie, then MJ. So let's see what that sounds like. What up, Charlie?
What's up, Kings? How y'all doing?
Man, we just trying to work, man. Trying to, you know what I'm saying, pay the rent, buy some bread. You know how it go.
Yes, sir, and I feel you. Let me just say this to Skywalker, to you, Voch, and this is going to determine whether you want me to come back on the show. I might hurt a lot of feelings today, but at this point, I don't give a damn.
Oh boy.
Let me tell you something. Back in the 80s, Al Davis was the most flamboyant owner in the NFL. He thought outside the box. Jerry learned everything from Al Davis, including how to make deals outside the NFL. Now, I'm not going to dig off into old stuff because you don't dig off into old ice cream because it'll make you sick. But what I will say is this. At some point in our comic book ass life, we're going to have to change the culture in Dallas. You can get 3 Schottenheimers, a crackhead, and a little red wagon. If you don't change the culture, you can't change the team. It's what it is. Say, well, we got rid of Kellen Moore. We got rid of him. He gone now. So it's the garbage. It still don't mean that the stench ain't there. We got 32 owners in the NFL. If I'm not correct, I might be a little off. 32 owners. There's only one fool with a mic in his face, and that's Jerry Jones. Jerry have to change, but he won't. He won't change because Al Davis didn't change, and he never saw another Super Bowl. Made an appearance, but he got blowed out. Never made a Super Bowl and never will make another Super Bowl until they change the culture with the Raiders. And until we do that, let me tell you something. In all fairness, I give this to you, Voch and Skywalker. The fans, the YouTubers, the people that hit that grind all the time. We're the one that's trying to change the culture, but the people with the money, with the stock on the helmet, is not trying to change it. You can get anybody you want. Until you change the culture, that's the only way this team gonna change. Now, somebody say, you watching the Super Bowl. I am not watching the Super Bowl. I didn't watch the NFC Championship. I didn't watch the AFC Championship. I'll be watching the Cowboys and Buffalo in the Super Bowl in Pasadena. Why? Because I remember when we was good. And that's what I'm gonna watch. Now, case in point, I'm gonna say this in closing. To all fans, I love both of y'all. Y'all is not just my friend. I love y'all as my brother. Sometimes I'm the older cat here, and you will figure the young cat look up to the older cat. But no, I'm looking up to you. And what's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. We brothers, we do what we do. I'm gonna say this in close. You got a man out on the track field and another man, one wearing track shoes, another wearing flip flops. Which one would win? Well, of course you'll take the man with the track shoes on. Why? Because the man in flip flops don't run track. He don't run goddamn track. Why? Because he got flip-flops on. And that's why his ass keep losing. That's all I got to say. I love both of y'all. I want to come back, Voch. If you will have me, Voch, Skywalker, I would love to come back. But I'm too goddamn upset to deal with Dallas right now. And that's all I got to say, players.
Appreciate y'all. You can come back anytime, man. You know this home. Come on, man. You know better than that.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
Flip-flops is madness.
Hey, yo, we got Joe on the phone. What's up, Joe Sandberg? What's up, Voch? I got one question. What's up with you? Al Davis has a little red wagon with flip flops in it,
And a crackhead.
and a crackhead, and a crackhead. Right? I wonder what's in his wagon.
I mean, I concur. It's why one of my sayings that I've been saying for years.
Yeah.
You know, we got to overcome, those boys more often than not. Is it impossible? Probably. I don't know that it's impossible, but it's much harder. It's much harder than most franchises.
Charlie is incredibly profound, and I don't even think that he knows it for real. You know what I mean? Just why you think the man in track shoes ran the race? I was about to say, well, because he got track shoes on, and you know what I'm saying, the track shoes are gripping to the track, and he can run better than the flip flop. No, just the track runner runs track. So he has track shoes, motherfucker.
Yeah.
The motherfucker with flip flops do not run track.
So even if you give him track shoes, it ain't gonna matter.
Because he don't run track, Will, still.
Damn,
he don't run track, man. Shouts out to the late great Black Phillip. He says, you have to eventually sell what I'm buying. And if I'm going to go look at Jordans and you try to sell me sandals, I don't want your sandals. I want Jordans. But you go, but I got these sandals. Like, nah, bro. Like, quit trying to sell me something that I ain't buying, bro. So, that's very profound by you. I should have did it in separate order. We should have went MJ first, then but let's see what MJ got. I hope MJ got something profound like on, but boy, MJ might got. What's up, MJ?
Follow. It's a tough follow.
Tough follow,
Hey
man.
guys, what's
Tough
up,
follow.
man?
What's good, MJ?
Hey, I like what y'all talking about. What I want to talk about with Uncle Charles. Hey, can't get frustrated, bro. I'm a Cowboy fan for life. Gonna stay it. We get mad. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
But anyway, Steele, you made some good points with the receivers. I'm just happy. The receivers, I know they probably some of them watching your show. They so happy. So 85, let me tell you.
Noah Brown.
We got faster receivers.
Right.
That's faster than you. That's more dangerous than you. So you're a good boy on the special teams, but now they ain't got to think no more. They get to play. So it's gonna come down to the man with the best hands. That's one. Two, the scheme fit with the new coordinators.
Kevin Jones.
Now, coach get the chance to do what you say, vouch. He get to do a Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is the leader over there on defense. So Jerry gave him everything. Now Jerry then gave McCarthy. We wasted 2 years with Dum Dum. Everybody know our route tree. And then what made me mad about, y'all should have watched this. The DB from the Philly said, man, we watched that game that Dallas played against San Francisco, and we took everything what they did, and that's how we beat them, even on offense. Wow. They watched and they destroyed San Francisco.
They beat San Francisco's goddamn Josh Johnson was playing. But I feel what you're saying, though. Sure. I feel what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so, but we got a chance now. We got a good defense. We're going to have a top 5 defense. And I was watching, was it Okoye?
Yes.
Media?
Yep.
I was watching his line blocking.
Time out. Who you said? Who?
Okoye.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Okoye.
Yeah, love him. Go to shots at him. Go watch his
I
show.
was watching him.
Yeah.
And
It's
man,
not bad. That's not half bad.
showing them schemes,
It's close.
how they was running. And Russell Wilson when he's doing that play action,
Yeah.
man, me and you could have played quarterback with that bad offensive line because they kept running. That dude kept running, and he was scheming and getting big holes, and he would see the defense was getting frustrated with the Seattle, and our offensive line is better than Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I'm glad that dumbass, excuse my French, thank you, San Diego. Y'all about to get what y'all deserve with
LA.
that dummy over there.
Yeah.
And he stopped us from making it to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. I'm going to blame his dumbass, Kellen Moore.
Yeah,
and I'm going to blame Jerry for keeping him. Instead of letting
That's a flip.
we run that West Coast and help this quarterback to be a better. Because I love the dink and dunk. I always tell Steele that. 2016, that's the quarterback I like. So now we're going to have a better scheme, better setup for our receivers. They made the best receivers on our team now. Like you remember, Steve, I tell you, even Brandon Smith was killing. He's 6'2", running 4.
Yeah, Brandon Smith was.
Brandon Smith running 4.
He had a fantastic camp. Yeah,
yes, sir.
But I'm just saying,
from Iowa, right?
If they drop the receiver,
Yeah.
I'll be cool. If they pick up a receiver, I'll be cool.
Yeah.
But now it's up to the receivers. Who the best receiver gonna make the team now, and we ain't gotta do the stupid ass schemes like y'all was showing us on film.
Honestly though,
dumbass option route.
Honestly though, Marv, I think Semi's gonna be a guy that's gonna
I can't wait to see this.
that's you know what I'm saying, like him and his length and his speed, and Semi got hands too, and we were seeing this all up and down training camp. So I think Semi will be a guy that that'll show a big and emerge, dick and dunk. Pause.
And Boston Steele. And Steele made a good point. Y'all was cracking because I was at the camp.
Yeah.
Man, he was killing more. They know the routes. Remember the San Francisco dudes say they know the routes. Tampa Bay know they know the routes. Now, and know what it's gonna help us? It's gonna help our DBs in the camp.
For sure.
Because now we get to go to 9 routes a lot. Them schemes, it's gonna make them better to see if they can really cover. You see what I'm saying? Because now it's gonna be mano on mano. Not that dumbass Kellen Moore. So I'm so happy, man. Oh, I'm so happy.
Appreciate you, brother. Good
we can blame Jerry. He makes mistakes, but now ain't no more excuses. I don't want to hear no excuse from nobody. Just like you say, bro. If they fuck up, our new coach would be Dan Quinn.
Yep.
If they win the Super Bowl, salute. That's all I gotta say.
Appreciate you, MJ. Good call, man. Good call. MJ said some great things too, though. Like, I'm just like, yeah, I mean, we laughing together, but MJ definitely made some good point. Listen, man, when we say that we have the best community, we ain't just, nonsense and BS and bull. I mean, you got Eagles fans all up in here watching us talk about Cowboys and, other little nonsense like that. But Okoye Media, AKOYE Media, check him out. He did do a fantastic job breaking down the offense with Schottenheimer, Seattle in those prime Russell years or whatever. He did a fantastic job breaking that down on the film 22. You know what I'm saying? Cartel view, all that. So please go check that video out because I think it's eye-opening and I think it needs the views. I think people need to go see that and just enlighten themselves of what's to come. Appreciate you. And one last call for the day. And then we're going to move on. 903, what's up? Who this?
Hey, this is Buddy.
What's up, Buddy? What you got for the show? That's a dope name, though. What's up, Buddy?
I just hope you don't mind. Since McCarthy arrived, I had a couple things on my mind, and this goes back to 2020.
Okay.
All the way through. If I listen to the media, Cowboys fans, and I think a lot of Cowboys fans get riled up about stuff that is inaccurate.
Sure.
So I call it the McCarthy doctrine. Since that dude walked in the door, number one, he's by far the most accomplished person in our organization across the last 25 years in the NFL, and he stays that same guy today. There's nobody in that whole building that holds a candle to what he's done in the NFL.
Yeah.
Even though one of them's in the Hall of Fame, the owner. Right. But okay, then I call it the McCarthy doctrine. Phase 1 and 2, he walks in the door. He says, "Man, I gotta flip this whole thing, and I'm gonna do it in phases. I'm going to start with the defense. This defense is not dynamic. If you look at the 2019 positive contributors on defense and you look at 2020, 8 of the top 11 were off the roster, and they're guys that a lot of people didn't think about, like Bennett, for example. And that's why the defense was stinky, more so than Mike Nolan. Mike Nolan just happened to, trust me, I'm not stumping for that guy. But right. I mean, Mike Nolan did lead Ray Lewis to Ray Lewis, the defensive end there, and the safety. They all had either got NFL Defensive Player of the Year or NFL Rookie Defensive Player of the Year under Mike Nolan. He also has one of the top 5 Ravens defenses ever. So it's not Nolan. And Mike McCarthy saw this. He said, we got a lot of non-dynamic players. They start flipping it. Look at one of the best draft picks they've had since he showed up. It was right there, that second one, Diggs. So I don't want to get lost on that, but real quick here. So, Dan Quinn is awesome. Not cutting him off.
Not this time.
But, dude, man, they started taking with their takeaways in late 2020. So, right. McCarthy's that's a staple of his teams.
Sure.
He said, hey, we're not going to sign any more bad contracts. We're going to draft and develop. We're going to flip both the offense and the defense. We're going to get rid of these old guys. If you look, if they get rid of Zeke and Tyron this year, pretty much the only old guys still around will be Dak Zach, and Lawrence.
Right.
That'd be almost the only guys left on the whole freaking roster. But now let's go to McCarthy as a play caller real quick.
Quickly.
You go back to his time in New Orleans, 3 straight years, 1,700 yards total scrimmage, Ricky Williams, 1,700 total yards, Deuce McAllister, 2,200 total yards, Deuce McAllister. And then you go up to Green Bay, receiver after receiver after receiver after receiver, Jordy Nelson, what's guy number 80, Donald Driver. You had Randall Cobb. You had
Jennings,
Devontae Adams. I mean, dudes are just catching balls all over the place, catching them on the run with the ability to go do something about it instead of coming back toward the quarterback, catching it and having to turn and spin when you don't have any momentum at that time. It was just like when David Shula was the offensive coordinator before North Turner showed up here. That was exactly what they were doing here. And then the main thing with McCarthy, if you go back, the Green Bay Packers, after 2 seasons of Aaron Rodgers, were going to draft Brady Quinn because the dude had yet to throw a touchdown pass in the preseason. He played in every single game in the preseason. Aaron Rodgers was still carrying the ball high up around his helmet all the time, and McCarthy put him through that quarterback school. And after 2 years of doing that, McCarthy convinced him to just start carrying the ball naturally. And it freed him up. And this is not my opinion. This is an interview.
It's documented.
Lengthy deal that's online. You can see it. And the guys from Kansas City, Aaron Brooks was an All-Pro Pro Bowler under Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy leaves, he's nothing. Yep. He's nothing. I mean, the dude can coach some freaking football, and I'm tired of everybody around here acting like he's an idiot. This organization has a program, has a plan since the day he walked in, and that had been poorly missing around here for 25 years.
Yep.
Nothing's consistent from year to year to year to year, and this thing is on an arc that's going up, not just stagnant and going up and down and up and down and up and down. All right, thanks, guys. Sorry to take time.
Buddy, man. Buddy. Listen, buddy. I was gonna say though too, you know what I mean, that did kind of run a little long, but towards the end, you was spitting, buddy. You was spitting towards the end because Mike McCarthy doesn't get the credit for developing quarterbacks. You know what I mean, putting a little bit of sauce on guys that's already here. So appreciate you for those tidbits towards the end, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Good call.
Basically, what Buddy said is what we were talking about earlier. I think people got Mike McCarthy up.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Let's get into some supers. Will said something happened so funny in the chat. The phones was locked, right? And Blade Brown was trying to call in. Now, we lock the phones the same time every day. You know what I mean? Towards the end of the monologue, right around 4 o'clock, we locked the phones. Blade Brown kept trying to call in. I wasn't trying to unlock the phone, right? And somebody was like, Blade Brown, like, you an Eagles fan. Shouldn't you be watching some Eagles content?
There's got to be something going on over there.
During Super Bowl week, why are you watching Cowboys content? You know what Blade Brown said? Blade Brown said, y'all need to be watching Eagles content.
Huh?
You not watching Eagles content. The fuck we gonna watch it for? Bro, I promise you, man. I was talking to Girly, man, and she was like, you gonna answer the phone for him today? I'm like, look, Blade Brown not good at this, so I'm gonna ask for it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep answering the phone for Blade Brown. He is not good at this.
We need to watch that for what?
Y'all need to be watching Philly content, sir. You don't. Shit, man. Shouts out to Blade Brown. I take my shout out back. Don't shout Blade. Give my shout out back. Don't shout Blade Brown out. All right, man. Let's get to the phones, man. I mean, shit. Super chats.
Who's the stand up that was like, motherfucker for what? Was that Bernie?
That was Harvey. Steve.
Oh,
Harvey.
that was Steve.
Like, wave your hands in the air. Wave like just somebody scream.
Motherfucker for what?
For what?
I paid you.
You get the drop because I don't want to steal it. That's your shit. That's funny.
We got to get that drop.
Motherfucker for what?
Watch the Eagles content. Motherfucker for what?
Will Steele. Both of us got to have. I got to steal that one from him. That's like the NWO drop.
Yeah.
Let's get the supers, man.
Wave your hands in.
Somebody scream.
I'll shoot you in the chest and wet you.
I'll wet you.
I don't want to be wet. I want to be wet from making love. I don't want to be wet from being shot.
Get shot to get wet.
All right, I quit.
Dick and dunk. Pause. All right, here we go. We left off on Andrew Vanderbilt. Shouts out to everybody that called in today, man. Y'all did well today. Y'all did well. And I don't know why Charlie think that we wouldn't want him to call back.
Because Onk fed the hell up. So he know he going to call in here and be pissed off every time. And he's respecting us if that's something we don't want to hear. But Onk, you can call in, brother.
Yeah, he is definitely sick of this. Sick of this. All right. On the volume side, appreciate y'all. L11, E. Levon, he dropped a diamond super chat, says funds for my unexcused abs are still repping Voch and Sky per usual. Hashtag Studio 2023. Where, when, and how is the move taking place? And are we moving silent? Big salute. We definitely moving silent now because we could get fired anytime between now and then. You know what I mean? So we moving relatively in silent. But we talked about it. And, Voch had to be in Dallas first. And you know what? I'm living a very funny life, Will Steele. I'm living a funny life right now to where, and I say this humbly, right? But volume takes care of us, right? Volume does us well, right? And I just been saving my money, Will Steele. And I'm just in this place where I got just more in my savings account than I've ever had in my life because I've been broke my whole life, right? So I'm just blessings. I'm just happy. Life is good. My truck still ain't shit. And I'm just in this apartment, but I just don't feel like moving yet. You know what I mean? So I'm up here thinking like, man, I need a new truck. Man, I need a new crib. But just dude in me, like, I just feel like I don't need it all right now. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't want to upgrade those things. But I can if I want to. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of in that weird space to where remember we was in training camp and Brumley sent us up there with that rental car and we wanted to be seen, right? And we wanted to
not in that rental.
If we had something better, like, hey man, this gets us from point A to point B, and we didn't have to pay for a rental car, but the torn leather, yeah. the torn leather on the console of the rental car. You know what I mean? So I'm in a weird place right now, man. But life's good, man.
Got no complaints with the volume, man. Y'all are fantastic, and look forward to being here for the future.
That's why we're doing all this extra work, man. We don't get paid for the views, but y'all will still get some extra work because the numbers ain't gonna lie when it's time to talk, man. So here it is. Appreciate you though. Rock Drums 11 drop 5. It says, do you guys see a Devontae Smith, Jerry Jeudy type that finds open spots in this draft? Jackson Smith and Jigba is a guy that does, but I can't tell you how just yet. Let me keep watching film. I'll let you know. Jordan Addison is a dude that can find spots. I would consider him more of a yak guy than a route running spot finder, but he can run routes. Zay Flowers is another dude that can run routes, but I think he's more of a ball in the hand type guy. Josh Downs can definitely do it, but he's shorter, so I don't know if Cowboys would take him. But Jerry Jeudy, like route runner type is what I'm assuming that you're saying, sure. But Jerry Jeudy, like he may be in the top 3 receivers in this draft, and he's a route runner. You'll be close to like an Addison type of guy. You'll probably be leaning more towards Addison than any of the guys in the top 3. Appreciate you though, Rock Drums. Let me hit refresh just to make sure we good over there. Good over there. All right, and let's go to the Voch side. Perfect. Let's see. We let this stuff in. Hey man, the chat is funny, man. All right, Voch side super chats. Appreciate y'all for y'all super chat contribution today. We love y'all to pieces, man. Oh goodness, Eastside Harold sent one. I'll read in a second. Starting from the bottom. No, Kenny Lott drop 5. It says, under McCarthy, do you see Dak taking that next step and being a top 4 quarterback next year? Well, he's top 3 right now. Top 4 quarterback next year and in the postseason. And in the postseason is important, so we'll stick by that. I mean, by traditional NFL quarterback standards. We'll just tighten this up. Yeah, we'll just tighten this up a little bit. Yeah. I think Dak Prescott will be fantastic, and I think he'll, like Will still said earlier, I don't think there needs to be super drastic change with Dak. Just take what works and keep doing that, and the things that we're bad at, just tighten those things up. Dak ain't some new project that you got to build from the ground up. He's not a young player. Dak isn't a dude with a long list of issues or whatever. You know what I mean? We just got to clean up what we did last year. So we shouldn't have too much work to do with Dak Prescott.
If I had to simplify it and use a popular phrase over the last year or so with him, I think he'll be more consistently at the top of his game. I think the word consistent.
Consistent is a fantastic word. Fantastic word. Chat box. Let's see. Who we got? Appreciate you, Kenny. Kenny dropped another. He dropped a dime and says, how surprised would you be if Dak and Lamb make first team all pro this season?
Ken doesn't want to throw the ball 75 times a game.
But look, one day Dak is gonna win a game in the air, like a playoff game in the air or something like that. And no matter how long ago it is, Kenny gonna be like, told y'all 10 years ago that Dak was gonna throw the ball 40 times. Dak was 38 for 40 for 500 yards a day. Told
y'all. Back in 94. He was going to throw.
Yo, Will, I thought about that shit the other day. Listen, time out. Quick talk, right?
Hey, for those who don't get that, Dave Chappelle.
How come when we talk about the best shows of all time, right? We always bring up the drama shows. We don't talk about shows like Boondocks or Dave Chappelle Show. Chappelle Show and Boondocks, some of the greatest TV of all time, and it's constantly getting brought back up in pop culture and is always relevant. Like what, 10 years later now? How come we never bring up Chappelle Show?
I think a Chappelle Show was short-lived.
Yeah.
I think it was short-lived.
So it's Boondocks, 2 seasons.
Yeah. So that might be it.
Yeah. What can a player do when half the people voted for George W? George W.
What color does the shirt the girl have on?
I choke him because he's a snitch. I'm talking about George W. Smith, city council. He ran in 93. I know you probably didn't hear about him. I know him. I know George W. Smith.
He said, I'm talking to you in the pink shirt with the drink in your hand.
It must be doo-doo.
It must be.
Right. Here we go. We focus. If he hit the table one more time, then the record might
one more time.
I told you, stop hitting the tape. But bro, Dave Chappelle so good. That was some of his throwaway work. You know what I'm saying? Like he had the first 2 seasons, and then he had season 3 of just the throwaways that wasn't gonna make the show. Like, bro, that's his throwaway work, man.
Now, remember the episode 1? Was season 1 where he was it was a blooper. He was like, I'm gonna run y'all back the blooper reel. When we was in the car, and the John was in the car, and her, I'm saying, popped out. And he paused it, and Dave Chappelle was like.
But you know what, though? One more thing before I move on to the Super Chat. I often think, though, right? Yeah. I wish it was one more season of Chappelle's Show. I wish it was one more season of Boondocks. I can't say that because some of my favorite shows that started off great when they were short and very succinct, but when they run long, that's when shit ended up being terrible.
Yeah, you know and because they're short, we can recall it so well because it's only 20 episodes, whatever it is, right? So yeah. My favorite.
It might be doo-doo. How do we even get here?
Am I gonna have to smack it? Yeah, somebody brought up Dwayne Brady. Look, we might have to just do a what do you call it, Twitch, where we just recall Dave Chappelle episodes, man.
Well, still, the Wayne Brady episode and Rick James episode was the same. Like they all was the same episode, bro. Like that was one show, bro. Like
that's crazy.
Crazy.
You can't do all that in one show because those were classics.
Hey, we're gonna have Chappelle Show Day on Twitch. Y'all tap in. I think Chappelle Show like on Netflix or something like that. So on twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi, we'll watch some Chappelle Show together. So tap in. Give me a follow. Appreciate you. JR the mailman, appreciates. He dropped the deuce and says, what are your thoughts on Kalijah Cansey from Pitt? I see his name a bunch. Too soon for me. It's February 6th, but trust me, let me get through the process. I'll probably let you know in a couple weeks. I'll probably know. He's a D tackle, I believe. Sure, I'll know about him in a couple weeks when we watch D tackle. JR the mailman, I will definitely remember. Tyrone Melton dropped 5. Appreciate you, sir. When Mike came in 3 years ago, I wonder who he wanted as an offensive coordinator instead of Kellen Moore. McAdoo, Brian Schottenheimer. Who did he want calling plays if not himself or Kellen Moore?
Him.
It's probably gonna be one of his friends or him or one of his friends.
He was gonna call the plays.
It's probably gonna be him, yeah.
He relinquished play calling duties for like 5 weeks and said never again.
Yeah.
When he was in Green Bay, and then got to Dallas, and they said, "Well, Mike, you're gonna have to take Kellen," and he was like, "All right, whatever, man, it's a job."
Trash, man, trash. And appreciate you, though, Tyrone.
Cupper Rush back too. You know he says Cupper. They don't call him Cooper.
Well, this the hilarious part, right?
Cupper.
He says Cupper, and he says Oxnard. One day he actually said Oxnard and Cooper, but he corrected himself.
You correct yourself to the wrong thing.
He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna be out here in Oxnard, and we're gonna." I'm like,
and he says, "Buy it ass."
They definitely say buy that. But then one time he was like, "Well, we signed Cooper, Cooper Rush, not Mari Cooper." And I'm like, bro, you correcting yourself wrongly. Like, Cooper and Oxnard exist, but you say Cooper and Oxnard.
See, if I ever get a chance to be in those kind of media circles where he ain't on air, I'm gonna just be like, Jerry, you know the young cat you drafted from UCLA, where's number 97? Osa.
What the name is?
You know
how we do Marv?
Yeah. Osa. What is it? I just want to hear him say that.
What's the fourth round tackle we drafted from North Dakota? Wallace.
And play the Marv game with him, and he gonna hit us with the numbers.
Yeah, he won't hit us with Marv game. Well, Pie.
Number 97. Looked real good out there.
Real good out there. He looked real good out there. Eastside Harold dropped the deuce, says D'Amico Ryans is the best coach in Texas. I'm happy for you, bro.
I'm surprised he even know who his coach is.
I'm glad you feel that way, Eastside Harold. Eastside, I don't even think Eastside Harold a real person. I just think like we get this on Twitter, but in real life, like Eastside Harold is probably like a quiet dude, chill. You know what I'm saying? Wears a suit to work.
I think he's a scorned Cowboy fan. That stopped liking the Cowboys and adopted the Texans.
I tell you what it was, Will Steele. This might be the case. He may have been from Houston, and he was like an Oilers fan, right? And then they left and turned into the Titans. So while they was turning into the Titans, he was like, well, I'm just going to stay in state and follow the Cowboys. But then Houston came back to Houston.
Right.
And then
you might be on something.
He transitioned from Cowboys to Texas because he used to be an Oilers fan.
You might be on something.
Because it happens to a lot of people. There's a lot of Titans fans in Houston. I'm like, man, how does this work? Because they used to be the Oilers. So that's probably what happened right there.
I think something similar. If you go older, I think Chiefs fans. If I'm not mistaken, they used to be around here or whatever. And you see some Cowboy fans also like the Chiefs. Some Chiefs fans also like the Cowboys because of that whole situation.
Yeah, for sure. Kevin Robinson in the regular chat. Volume needs to cut the check so Skywalker can at least have a small camera that's on him all the time.
I mean, but
hey, remember that conversation we had with corporate? Will still gotta have your own camera.
To be fair, I enjoy playing the Robin role here because this is the Voch Lombardi show. Okay, I gotta do my producer thing. You know what I mean? I like being the producer that chimes in, and riding shotgun with you, man. This shit is great, man. This is some legendary shit happening right here. We ain't gonna notice it until like 10 years from now, but this is legendary.
But it hit your ass up. Will we
gotta see you.
We need to see you. We need to see you.
Oh, you do.
Be more of a star.
Voch Lombardi, Skywalker, Steele.
All right, y'all. This is the Will Steele and Voch Lombardi show. This is the Skywalker Steele show with Voch Lombardi. I'm quitting. First, the Fat Boys break up. Nah, man. Will Steele. Looking back on this, man. This gonna be some fantastic shit, man.
You imagine. Right, like if the people said they need to see Sky more, and then all of a sudden, Voch don't show up no more, and we beefing on Twitter, and we Emmanuel Acho and what's his name, Marcellus Wiley. Let
me tell you what
changed the name from look. They changed the name from Voch Lombardi Live to just Lombardi Live because it ain't really your last name. Instead of speak for yourself, speak.
There's gonna be a video on the side. Let me tell you why I left the volume.
Right.
You know, it's just philosophical differences. You know, just philosophical. I'm gonna be on Law Nation podcast. Let me tell you what happened.
Yeah, you know, they said I had to share the screen with Sky, and I said, "Mother for what?" You know?
Let me tell you something, man. We like Buck and Aikman, man. We like Buck and Aikman.
I like that one. Yeah.
We like, hey, listen, man. I told you a long time ago, you the best in this shit. And if I find a way to pay you, if I find a way to get you a check, we gonna do it. Goddammit. I'm standing on that. Let's read one more super chat and get up out of here.
That's hilarious.
Oh shit, two more. My bad, y'all. We're gonna read down one last. Jimmy07 dropped 3 and says, tired of Dak hate, bro. Get rid of him. Motherfucker for what? Appreciate you, Jimmy. We gotta get the drop now. Gotta have it. And Ralph 707 will end on this one. He says, what made both you guys Cowboy fans? Where you want to go first?
I grew up in a Cowboy household, man. That's all I knew, you know. And once I developed a love for sports and football, and then you become a diehard, and ain't no turning back. You know? That's why I hate people say bandwagon. How?
Yep.
Tell me how. Yeah.
Likewise, I was my whole family was either Cowboys or Steelers or 49ers fans. When the Saints ended up winning, then a lot of them, you know, they ended up being Saints fans or whatnot. But I was just a primary first stage Cowboy fan, but I wasn't diehard yet. I used to play a lot of Madden, and I thought I was going to be like a Ravens fan or whatever, because I love playing with the Ravens on Madden, like Madden 03 or 04 or something like that, the Vic Madden. And I was like, man, I'm a rebel. I'm not going to be a Cowboy fan because my whole family Cowboy fan. How about this? I'm gonna do the research. Whatever team won the Super Bowl the year I was born in 92. Whatever team won the Super Bowl the year I was born, that's gonna be my team, and I'm gonna roll with them. That's how I'm gonna, because I thought it was stupid to be like, oh, I'm gonna be with this team because I like Ray Lewis. I'm gonna be with that team because I like they jersey color. You know what I mean? So I left it up to fate. Whatever team won the Super Bowl in 1992, I was gonna be a fan of that team, and it was the fucking Dallas Cowboys. So
my sister was a rebel. And guess what damn team she picked?
The Eagles.
At first, it was the Packers, because I used to play. She used to cheer. I used to play for our local, league, KMFC, the Packers. So it was the Packers, and then as she got a little older, she changed it to the Eagles. And ever since, man, she's been an Eagles fan, and it's just been misery.
Bad times. Appreciate y'all. One more from Tyrone Mel. Let's play Name That Song. At night I can't sleep or toss and turn. Get a boy. Get a boy. Mind playing tricks on me. Appreciate you. Actually, if you want to get a little more nuance, you can take those same words. You can apply it to Isaac Hayes, Hung Up on My Baby. So y'all go do that quick search. Isaac Hayes, Hung Up on My Baby. But that is Ghetto Boys Mind Playing Tricks on me. Appreciate you, sir. Hey man, fantastic day. Marcus Harris, you got something for us, sir? Where you at? I know you got it copy and pasted. You normally ready for us. What you got? What you got, Marcus? Wait. There you go, man. We know
he was ready.
He be them joints. Marcus don't type that fast. He don't. Here we go. Let me sit up in my chair for this. Marcus Hardison says, at the volume. That's me and Will Steele, by the way. At the volume, if you are the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. Hey, come on, Will Steele. Will, come on. I ain't got good buttons. There we go. Will Steele. If you are the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. Voch and Sky, you are too fly for the clouds and too down for the green grass. Salute, gentlemen. Fantastic show. Wolves, sleep outside. UNLV. Appreciate you, sir. Salute, man. Marcus Harrison adding just a little bit of class for us today.
I've always enjoyed that quote.
Every time. And that also applies for, you don't want to be the richest person in the room, smartest person. You don't want to be you don't want to be the best fighter in dojo. You don't want to be the best, you know what I mean? Because you always want something to work on. You always want something to work for. I love free game. I love to talk to them. I'm like, hey man, how you get here? How you get the way this? You know what I'm saying? So continue on your journey of acquiring knowledge. Shouts out to Okoye. leave a like on the page. Hit the subscribe button. Appreciate y'all very much. Thank you for watching. Appreciate y'all for staying through the whole show. That'd be something that I'm always like shocked about. The numbers stay right where they are through the whole show. Like where we started, and we'll get up here at about 800. We'll stay up about 800 all the way to the end of it. So I appreciate y'all for not only watching but keeping the stream on and sticking around. The volume need to see all those numbers. The volume also need to see likes, man. Appreciate y'all for liking the stream. Follow me on Twitter, VOCHLOMBARDI, patreon.com/Voch Lombardi for the full-length film session, and twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi, where we'll be watching nature documentaries. We'll be reacting to old episodes of Chappelle's Show and playing Sekiro. We might even play a new Harry Potter joint when that come out. You feel me? Yeah, and tomorrow we got a draft show. Follow my man's Will Steele at Skywalker Steele on social media. You can check his show out at A to Z Dallas in the morning, 8:30 to 10 o'clock, 10:30 if you're nasty. Appreciate you for being the best in the business, sir.
Absolutely.
Y'all hold down with the Doski Woski and the Peasky Whiskey. Till next time. Volume.
Beats Planet.